Uh, we had our housing inspection today here at Low Income. Wasn't a real great inspection. They basically just came in to see if the alarms and the smoke detector worked. And they're right here. But you also got to go in and talk to the housing authority lady. Her boss was actually here today, and that's the lady I got to talk to. When I complained that I wasn't getting my paperwork that I had asked for since before I moved in here, um, that lady told me that she would make it her goal to see to it that I got that by the end of the day. Well, Cindy heard that. She said, "Well, I've got her all at Scott's Bluff. I'll send it to his mail. Does your mail work?" Yes, my mail works. The whole reason that I'm spending $227 a month to stay in low income is so that I can have access to my own mailbox. So I don't have to depend on people who are on too many drugs to remember what day it is. Like Brenda Dickinson. She's not a bad person. She's got rheumatoid arthritis. She's in a lot of pain and her brain doesn't work right. It happens. Pain medications are dangerous. But she also did some bad things. And rather than just admit that she made a mistake, well, we can go into that all in a later date, I suppose. What I wanted to bring up is that, all right, kids and dogs love me. This has been a constant pretty much my entire life. Kids love me, dogs love me. So I'm not hardly ever here. When I am here, people's dogs want to run up and give me attention. Well, cool. I love dogs. I'll give you attention right back. Thank you for the lovins, Pooch. So apparently somebody was complaining that I have been feeding their animals and the stray animals. So apparently, first of all, you're not supposed to do that. Second of all, that's actually a decent thing to do, to feed stray animals. So somebody is trying to get me in trouble by accusing me of being a decent person. That's not the first time. And no, I haven't been feeding the neighbor's dogs. And no, I haven't been feeding the neighbor's cats. And no, I haven't been feeding the neighbor's strays. Um, but I do have, of course, praying mantises. And I let them know that. Yes, I have praying mantises. And Cindy said, "Well, just if you could stop feeding the animals." I said, "Well, see, that right there lets me know that it's not just something you're talking to everybody. Obviously, somebody made a complaint. Um, that's the thing, is that when it's popular to be a jackhole to somebody, to hate somebody, because they were never allowed to defend themselves or show evidence. They weren't allowed to defend themselves to the media. They weren't allowed to defend themselves in the courts. They weren't allowed to defend themselves against any of their predators or face any of their accusers in court. See, the thing is, the person who was complaining that I was feeding their animal was outright lying, trying to get me into trouble by, well, accusing me of being a good person. First of all, that's fucking crazy. Oh my God, Sean was being nice to the animals. Sean was feeding them so they don't starve to death. What a terrible person Sean must be. Meanwhile, I wish I had. I really do. Every time I get accused of something I didn't do, I think to myself, I should have done that. I probably should have done that. Matter of fact, I probably should. Now, if I knew who it was who was doing the complaining, I'd go find their dog and I would feed it every day. That's antagonistic, isn't it? But don't make false accusations, asshole. Now, on the bright side, accusing me of feeding stray animals is about the nicest thing anybody has done to try to ruin my life or destroy my opportunities. There's been a lot worse slander out there about me, a lot of it. I don't know why this person would think that accusing me of feeding animals was going to do the trick, where accusing me of much, much worse things has not done the trick. When it's popular to hate somebody, yes, people will tell outlandish stories. Now, me feeding strays isn't actually an outlandish story. It's a possibility. I could do that if I wanted to. It's not like people are accusing me of being some sort of Illuminati conspiracy with the CIA and the Jewish International Rebellion. Oh my God, that dude who was telling me about the Jewish International Rebellion, that guy was funny. I don't know if he was a comedian or if he was actually severely, but probably schizophrenic. But just the way that he was wording it, I'm thinking that he was more likely a comedian. Um, just playing the part, like Larry the Cable Guy, trying to sound all Southern sound, and Nebraskans don't sound like that. Yeah, he's from Nebraska, but he does that because it's entertainment. Y'all like it that he talks like that. So that's what he does. He gives his audience what they want. When it comes to the homeless, what you guys want, you want to see the homeless brutalized. You want to see that the homeless are bad people. You want to see that. You want to believe that because it makes you feel better about being a paycheck away from being homeless yourself. Well, I'm just not homeless because I work harder. I'm just not homeless because I'm a better person than they are. But then when you end up there, a lot of people that I knew that I told what it was like to be homeless wanted to argue with me, tell me how homeless people chose it and they're all lazy. And then when they ended up homeless, who is it they came to? They came to me. And even worse, they complained to me that I didn't tell them. Why didn't I tell them that it was going to be like this? Well, I did. You wanted to argue. You don't remember the argument? You remember just a couple of years ago when you decided that you didn't want to be my friend anymore because I told you how the police treat the homeless? You don't remember that? How you told me I was just making excuses? And I see black folks going through this. I do. How black folks are just making excuses for why it's okay. And I get to hear from BLM, a bunch of those folks, about how white people are making excuses why it's okay. No. See, that's the problem. You're going at each other over the color of your skin, and instead of going after the people who are doing these things to you. But you can't get at your predator, can you? You can't get at them. There is too many legal roadblocks and financial roadblocks and jurisdictional roadblocks and other assorted loopholes that allow them to take your children, take you, to lock you up, to lock your children up, and to victimize you for the rest of your life, and victimize you to the point where you are suicidal. When you start getting government help, you guys think that this is some sort of a free ride. You think this is a free ride for a bunch of able-bodied white Americans, and that's who's getting it all. No, most of that goes to veterans and single moms. Most single dads aren't getting the help that single moms are getting in this country. And there are a lot more, a very, very, very staggering number of single fathers who are sober, who are raising their children by themselves because the mother can't stay off of drugs. But we want to focus on women, 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 women. No, that's sexist. That's absolutely sexist. If it's happening to men too, then it's not a women's issue. Saying that it happens to women more, yeah, that's probably true. But when we're talking about millions of victims who are not female, then it is not a female issue. When it comes to child molestation, I don't know how many times I have been told that I need to shut up because women are victimized more. There are 28 1.8 million men in the United States of America who have been victims of sexual assault as a child before they were 18 years of age. Girls are more likely to be listened to. That's why they tend to cut. They start cutting at 5 times the rate of boys at the age of 15, where boys know they're not going to get hurt. You just have to man up, man up, man up, man up. That's why boys start committing suicide at 5 times the rate of girls at the age of 15. So, in the grand scheme of things, being accused of things that I've been accused of in the last few years, why would somebody think that accusing me of feeding dogs and cats was going to work? And I don't know who it is that's spreading this slander, but it doesn't matter. And why doesn't it matter? Because I'm going to speak out no matter what. No matter what. Whether I know who that person or not is, it's pretty much arbitrary. It's the fact that people are willing to do those things that is the important point here. And because I went to those meetings and I got to hear it from those government folks, well, those are people that I could put on the stand and help use that situation to show what you have to deal with when you've had to go through this situation. Now, that is the nicest thing they could have said about me. I wish it was true. I wish I had the ability to feed all the neighborhood animals. I also understand that with as much as animals love me, and in some cases more than they love the people that they live with, I can understand how people think that I would have to feed them to get them to like me like that. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful day. I'm going to continue being an asshole and fighting for our